Hey, what's going on? So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a full breakdown of how I'm currently using Facebook as a sales platform, and we're using an AI appointment setter and backend CRM integrations using Go High Level and a few other softwares that I'll go over. But the whole objective is to funnel leads both from ads and from organic traffic over on Facebook and book them into sales appointments on your calendar to close into paying clients. Now, I'm not using ManyChat and I'm not using the Go High Level integrated appointment setter. I'm using a third-party appointment setter build that I personally created myself, and I've been using for me and my clients to book our sales calls. And as you'll see here today, it blows most of these messaging platforms out of the water just because it's so customizable. And these are genuine conversational AI appointment setters. And what I mean by that is that these AI are fully capable of thinking on their feet, they're autonomous, and this CRM that I'm showing here right now, they can fully manage this completely hands-free. So literally all you're doing from start to finish is just launching your ad or posting your content, and then leads will come through the door, be funneled through the AI sales system that we set up, and then get fully booked onto your calendar. So as you can see here, this is a pipeline that I have set up for my personal company. Now, just to give you some context, anytime a new lead comes through the door, they'll be put in this new lead section before the AI has actually reached out. And that's because I personally like to set a couple minute delay, or in this case, I think I have it on like a 15-minute delay before I actually decide to reach out to the lead. And this is to build the illusion of it being a human behind the scenes, because it really goes a long way with sales if they think they're actually texting you or texting the account owner behind the screen, when in reality, it's entirely an automation. And it does a great job of having normal conversation, making sure that it's moving in the right objective by asking leading questions and making sure to tie in anything that the lead has previously said, because it has a full memory. It's not like it says one thing and forgets about it. It's an actual conversation that takes place. There's no other way to put it. It's plain and simple. It's literally an AI appointment setter that is meant to offload human appointment setters, and it's significantly cheaper. So my clients have been loving it and loving the results it's been able to get them. Anyway, so once the delay is satisfied, then the AI will actually reach out, and then we'll go through a sequence of conversing with the lead. Assuming the lead responds, they'll get pushed in the talking with the AI section. And then if they talk long enough with the lead and get to the end objective of booking a call, the AI will actually propose that call booking. And then, of course, once they actually book in, we have a calendar trigger set up that automatically moves the lead into the appointment book section. And then if the lead stops responding to us, we have a no response after follow-ups. And this is so we can reach out to them at a later date with either an SMS blast, an email blast, or for messaging them on Instagram and Facebook, we can try to respark a conversation as well. But one thing I want to note in the importance of these nodes is that I have follow-up sequences that are specifically set up for each different node, meaning for call proposed, we get a lot more intensive with the follow-ups because we're striking the iron while it's hot, because this is a hot lead. So we usually hit them with a 2-hour follow-up or a few hours later just to make sure that they really want to book in, because we'd already had so much conversation with them. So this is the really last step. So we sometimes have to push leads off the edge and actually get them to pull the trigger and book the appointment with us. And backtracking a little, if they're just now talking to AI, there's probably not as much substance there. So the follow-ups usually are less intensive, usually like 23 hours later or something like that. I never like to set follow-ups on a perfect time sequence. Like I won't do like 3 hours later exactly, because then if they look at the timestamps, it's quite obvious it's an automation. So I always like to throw it off with odd numbers so it looks like it was sent at a random time. So what you're looking at now is a top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel of the AI appointment setter in work, as far as actually generating the leads, setting the appointment, and then getting them on your calendar. Now, I'm not going to go through this too much in detail today because I have a full video on it that I'm going to put up right now, and I'm also going to link it in the description below. And it's just because I don't want to waste too much time on this, because if you've seen any of my videos before, I have a full segment where I discuss this. So after this video, if you want to hear more in depth on how the AI system actually works in the back end, you can go watch that video, and it goes over the Instagram flow of things. But Instagram and Facebook are basically synonymous, so it's the same knowledge that applies. I also show some results over there as well, but I really just want to use this video to show you guys the actual application that takes place on Facebook Messenger. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm over in Meta Business Suite now, so I'm just going to be messaging through my account to show you guys how exactly the AI appointment setter works, and I'm also going to be texting from my phone, so you're able to see how the two translate. So I personally have a trigger set up on this from an ad campaign. So assuming that you have some sort of trigger word on your ad campaign, incentivize people to message you the trigger word, and it also applies to comments as well. We can pick up on comments, then spark a DM conversation from there. Or if you have any sort of organic post, you can of course do a comment CTA, and then leads will automatically get plugged into the AI appointment setter that way as well. So for this example, help is the DM trigger word. So once that gets set up, then my appointment setting flow is going to fire, in which I'm going to give them out a free resource and then actually try to, spark a genuine conversation, provide a little bit of insight, and go from there. Now to start off, there's a button trigger that's set up like this. Now, of course, a lot of DMs are set up for mobile anyway, but it looks way prettier on mobile. And this is just kind of like a go high level or meta display thing. Nothing we can do about it, but you literally just click there. And then as you can see, yes, sent the info, or I meant to say send the info. Uh, Got to correct that later. And then cool. we give out the free link, and then right after that, we add the leading question. Now, I wanted to note again, I usually set these up on a time delay, but for the convenience of this video, it's on automatic response flow. So I'm typing, I'm a med spa owner looking to get more clients. I only do cold email right now. And then we just wait a few seconds and then it'll spit out the response here in a sec. And what we're currently using is we're using Go High Level and then we're using Make.com and OpenAI. And we're combining the three in order to use the OpenAI brain itself because it is far superior to using just the internal Go High Level AI automation that they have. Unfortunately, it's just so simplistic and it really has handcuffs on it because it's meant to be user friendly. But see, I'm a tech head and so I don't need something user friendly. I need the most effective thing on the market that, is very malleable and I can do whatever I want with. So, of course, I went just straight to the source using OpenAI. And another benefit of doing that, it's significantly cheaper because Go High Level essentially white labels the response cost. So let's say it takes 1 cent for OpenAI to generate a response. Go High Level may charge you 3 cents or 4 cents. But as you can imagine, if you're running an agency at scale, those numbers can really start to add up. And as you can see, the AI is resonating with what I just said, and then it's continued to ask more leading questions to go from there. And again, the whole purpose is to try to book me into a sales call and interest me into this offer, which is my AI appointment setter offer and my entire sales system to automatically book leads. So I'm saying I'm putting them into an email drip sequence, and sometimes I'll call them, but TBH, I don't have enough time to call everyone. And as you can see, the AI is continuing to warn me, kind of piquing my interest a little bit, kind of pointing out some shortcomings that I'm doing or I'm not doing, like follow ups, so no one gets missed, and basically explaining the capabilities of our AI. And I know I really didn't touch on this enough just because, again, I have a whole video fully explaining it and I don't want to bore you guys, but I just want to open your mind that everything and anything you can think of as far as what you would want a conversation to be is integratable with an AI. Again, this is just my conversation flow, but if you're like a real estate coach, fitness coach, if you're an agency owner, marketing owner, literally anything that you want the AI to know, it's just about teaching it. So we usually go through several phases of teaching the AI how we want it to conversate, and then we'll stress test it, making sure that we like the responses it's giving before we go live. And then, of course, there's even phases after we're live, making sure that we buff out any kinks that we see with any conversation pitfalls and ultimately try to optimize through that pipeline as well. That's another reason why I like this pipeline because we're able to go in and be like, all right, where are people falling off at? And it's typically at the call propose section from what I noticed previously. And it's just because, you could talk back and forth, people are getting some value, it's awesome. But then when you propose a call, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put up money for this. I don't know if I want to give my time for this. And usually when you get people on the sales calls, you're able to chop it up and fully explain your services more because the DMs is by no means a place to give them the whole spiel because that's also just going to overcomplicate things, turn off the lead. This is cold traffic we're talking about. So a lot of people unfortunately don't really give a damn about you. So you have to very much be strategic and surgical with how you're doing your conversations in such a way where you're not giving away too much, you're still piquing interest, providing enough value to want them to get on a call, but you're also not kind of overloading and be like, hey, I can't give you too much more information. You have to get on a call with me. Otherwise, I can't help you. Like, I've seen so many shortcomings with appointment setting flows, and it's a science in itself. But what we've done to kind of get past this is doing those intensive follow up sequence, like I discussed on the call propose section. And we found that at least for people that were kind of considering it, giving them one or two more nudges usually will get them to book a call. Because at the end of the day, people know what they want, right? It's just about pushing them in that direction with cold traffic to make sure that they actually show up to the call itself. And then this is getting more sidetracked, but we even do post booking follow up sequences where we have an AI texting leads and making sure that they confirm their booking just so we're not wasting time with no shows. All right, I'm just responding at this point. I'm just trying to get to the objective of posing the sales call. And then I also, after that, wanted to show you guys kind of trying to throw the AI off and confuse it and show how it's able to think on its feet and, push things back over to the primary objective of booking a sales call. All right, cool. So as you can see here, it finally did that call proposal. And if you read through it, you can go ahead and take this if you want. I don't care. Everything that I'm showing is for y'all. So pretty neat if you read it. It's kind of making the call itself a little more low impact. It's like, hey, you'll at least get some value and insights. It's not like you're just going to be wasting your time, which is true. Usually when I get on sales calls with people, I'll at least try to give them some 2 cents on something they could do if they're not maybe a right fit yet. I'm just going to say yes to keep it moving. Sure, let's do it. And then another thing that's neat with these AI builds, so a lot of times if people send double or triple texts, the AI appointment setters that people will build can only handle each message at face value, meaning let's say you send 3 texts back to back. The AI will reply in 3 text bubbles, and they all link to the corresponding message that was sent. But the issue was, let's say message 1 and message 3 in your triple text were directly related and kind of required, a combined reply. Well, instead, they're just getting sent back three new messages at face value, and it's honestly really confusing. It's not something a normal person would do, right? So what I like to do for my AIs, and what I can do is show it here in a second after I set a time delay, but I set a time delay for them, and I get the AI to collect every single incoming message, so it can actually reply with one coherent response. And this is just yet another way we're able to actually mask these things as coming off as a human and not an automation in the DMs. All right, so we got to the call booking. So now I'm just going to accuse it of being an automation to show you guys how it works. So I said, "Wait, is this an AI? You're replying so fast." So as you can see, it responds, it kind of deflects the question and then ropes it back to asking them if they were able to get to the calendar yet. And then in the back end of Go High Level as well, if they do book in, the AI will know that. So it's not stupid. It's not going to be like, "Oh, did you book in yet?" If they've already obviously booked in, because that can obviously make for a clashing conversation. So we make sure the AI knows that. But since I haven't booked in or even clicked the link yet, the AI is going to continue to push me and be like, "Hey, have you booked in yet?" And then if I don't respond for 2 hours, the AI will hit me back and try to respark the conversation and get me pushing towards the objective of booking that sales call. All right, so now I'm just kind of pressing the AI, pressuring it a little more, asking some more about the services, then also asking it a second question and asking it, how much is this? Because if you know anything about selling in the DMs, you never say price because that always turns off a lead. It essentially just puts you in a box and prevents you from really selling yourself, selling your services, getting the lead to understand why you're charging what you're charging. You know what I mean? And then there we go. Good question. And and there we go. As you can see, good question. And then it explains what the AI appointment setter does. And then it also answers that second question, talking about price. And again, at the very end, I have mine personally set up really aggressive. And as you can see there again, we ask if they got a slot. And that's just because I get a lot of leads to the door and I just don't like wasting anyone's time, especially my own. So it's really just about pushing them to book a call because at that point, it's like, look, we did all this talking. Do you want to book in a call or not? Right. So the AI will continue to answer questions. But the thing is, for some of my B2C clients whose leads you need to be a little nicer to, we'll usually only mention the call proposal like once or twice, and then from there, we'll just continue to ask questions from there because it is obvious that the link was just sent. The benefit of this is whatever you want. But again, like for me, I personally wanted it very aggressive like this, so I made it like that. And then, for some of my clients that don't really need too much of aggression on it, and we need to be nicer to our leads because the nurture process may take a little longer, then we won't be as pushy. Okay, so I'm back on Go High Level real quick. I'm going to set up a quick time delay on our AI appointment setter just to show you guys how it's able to handle double, triple texts and fully give one coherent response to every single message that the user just sent to the AI. Okay, so I just added a 1 minute delay, so now I'm just going to hit it with some questions. Okay, so I just asked it three completely different questions. Is this Scott? Do you know anything about ads? And do you sell product or consult too? So the AI is now going to collect all three of these replies and spit out one big reply, and it'll be fully encompassing and looks a lot prettier than shooting out three separate messages and just blowing up the DMs. There you go. As you can see, we got those three replies through. Super neat. And then just to show you guys again, if you just ask it something completely absurd, it's not gonna really entertain off-topic conversations too much. Usually, I try to make them so they're still nice. They're not gonna be a dick or anything and be like, "What are you talking about? Let's get back to this." But it's more just like, just a quick deflection. Hey, let's get back to this. Or in my case, it's gonna be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, let's book in. By the way, let's book in. Right, and then, as you can see, it just kinda laughs it off and then refocuses it on the calendar. It's like, "Hey, let's book in, kid." But again, it doesn't have to be this way. I can't preach enough how beautiful it is, the fact that it's so malleable into whatever you want. And another quick note, remember, I hadn't booked into the sales calendar yet, so if we go back over, as you can see, Scott Henry, there's my node within the call proposed section, so it knows that I haven't booked in, and when it does, I give an opportunity value of the potential revenue that I could collect from that. And in this section, I'll now get hit with several follow-ups. And then, yeah, now that I'm in this call propose section, I'll be getting hit with very intensive follow-ups to try to push me into the calendar. And then just tying everything back to the front-facing view over in the dashboard. This is the beautiful looking view. I'm able to see all the leads that are coming through my pipeline, all the ones that the AI reached out to, and then everyone that we've gotten to the end objective and actually won over. We can see our conversion rate. It's super neat. And, the fact that it's all centralized in one area, all this data, and then all the back-end opportunities taking place, it's been a really easy way for me to optimize the AI appointment setter, figure out again where the pitfalls are, and fix them using either follow-up sequences or revising the actual appointment setting flow itself so that the AI can execute its job a lot easier. Now, I just wanted to note again, if you're curious to hear some more elaboration on how the backend side of things work with the AI appointment setter And just to kind of show you guys a quick rundown of the video that you would be watching, it goes over client results, it goes over conversation flows on email, WhatsApp, SMS, Instagram, Facebook, even dialers. Essentially, what I've created and what the Facebook appointment setter that I just showed you runs off of, all we're doing is running ads and organic traffic. And this is the top of funnel manual task that's taking place, right? And then bottom funnel, the only other manual task that's taking place is actually joining your sales call and collecting the cash. Everything else that's listed out here in the middle is entirely automated. It's entirely automated system, work completely hands-free. And the reason this is so awesome is because I can take a few days off. I can go on vacation, or when I'm building these out for my clients, they no longer have to even think about the sales process. They're just looking at their calendar, getting notifications like, sweet, got a new sales booking. Let me hop on it, close a new client. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and drop a sub to stay tuned, because I'm going to be dropping 2 to 3 videos a week for you guys, giving away all sorts of value, how-to tutorials, different theory talks, ways for you to close high-ticket clients and actually get to that next level of scale using automated systems like an AI appointment setter, backend go high-level integrations, make.com integrations, and much more. And on that note, see you in the next video.